How did Miles Davis contribute to jazz fusion? If you're curious about how Miles Davis revolutionized the jazz scene, you're in the right place. Let's explore how he contributed to the birth and evolution of jazz fusion. Miles Davis was a pioneer in many aspects of jazz, and his work in the late 1960s marked a significant turning point. In 1969, Davis released two albums that would change the face of jazz, In a Silent Way and Bitches Brew. These albums were the foundation of jazz fusion, a genre that combined jazz harmony and improvisation with elements from funk, rock, and R&B. In a Silent Way was Davis's first foray into fusion. This album featured a lineup of talented musicians, including Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock, Tony Williams, Wayne Shorter, Joe Zawinul, and John McLaughlin. The music was composed of two long improvised suites edited together by producer Tio Macero. This approach was new and experimental, setting the stage for what was to come. Bitches Brew, released in 1970, was even more groundbreaking. This double album featured an ensemble with two bassists, multiple electric piano players, two drummers, and percussionists. The rhythmic innovations and the use of electric instruments, inspired by artists like Jimi Hendrix, James Brown, and Sly and the Family Stone, created a unique sound. Despite initial criticism from some jazz purists, Bitches Brew sold 400,000 copies in its first year, 4 times the average for a Miles Davis album. The impact of these albums extended far beyond Davis's own music. The musicians who played with him went on to form their own influential fusion groups. For example, drummer Tony Williams formed the power trio Lifetime with guitarist John McLaughlin and organist Larry Young. McLaughlin later formed the Mahavishnu Orchestra, known for their dynamic live performances and complex music that blended electric jazz, rock, and Indian classical music. Herbie Hancock, another key figure in Davis's band, formed the Headhunters, which brought funk, disco, and electronic music into the jazz fusion mix. Their album Headhunters was highly influential, featuring tracks like Chameleon with its iconic bass line. Hancock's work continued to push the boundaries of jazz fusion, making it accessible and popular beyond traditional jazz audiences. Chick Corea, who played electric piano on Davis's fusion albums, went on to form Return to Forever, a band that combined jazz, rock, pop, and Brazilian music. This band included Stanley Clarke on bass guitar and Al Di Meola on electric guitar, further expanding the scope of jazz fusion. Miles Davis's experimentation and innovation not only changed the sound of jazz, but also influenced other genres like funk, soul, and hip-hop. His ability to blend different musical styles and his willingness to challenge conventional norms made him a true maestro of jazz fusion. In summary, Miles Davis's contributions to jazz fusion were monumental. He pioneered a new genre, inspired a generation of musicians, and left a lasting impact on the music world. His legacy continues to influence contemporary music, making him one of the most significant figures in the history of jazz.